Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the crooked show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Every night, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I want to let you know I'm the five-star general. Tonight, Joe Biden is a pathological liar, and I don't know how you keep supporting it. We're going to talk about it tonight, though. Stay to it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in. You know, without you good people, I would not have a show, and I really appreciate it. Tonight, we were supposed to start dropping schools with the cheating on the STAR test is coming. The test scores hadn't dropped yet, so I'm waiting on the test scores to drop so I can do what I need to do. And as far as exposing these people for cheating on this test, and trust me, I don't care what y'all say out there, you people that don't want to believe it. It is what it is. Um, what's up, Mitchell Crane and Thunder, Abrevia Miller? How y'all doing? Uh, push the share button on the video. Push the button on the video. Push the share button on the video. I want to start off by saying that these gang members in Houston are out of control. You killing kids. And I saw Jay Prince posted something. I won't put up what Jay put up. Houston gang member shoots 9-year-old in the head because her mother wouldn't date him. What's up, Alan Giller? Her mother wouldn't date him. I'm going to say this here. There's codes in the streets. Maybe those codes don't exist anymore. But schools and kids and churches disrespect on Sundays with the game. That wasn't a part of the game. And you dudes, you're out there, you killing folks' kids, man. Well, the OG done called out the OGs. What's going on, Rontrell? The OG done called out the OGs. And normally when I say something, I'll say this. For y'all out there that's running around killing kids and think you getting away with it, the streets got something to say. What that mean? Trust me when I tell you, it ain't what you want. The streets got something to say. I have no respect for anybody that does that. They should get the same punishment. They should give you the same. What's going on, Kirk? So I wanted to start it off by saying keep that little girl's family in your prayers. But also when it comes to the streets, there is no loyalty. Like Alan Gilroy said, gangs have no loyalty. No codes are respected anymore, just a bunch of savages. But it's time for the ones who gave birth to those savages to control those savages. It's just that time. So keep that young lady's family in your prayers. But you dudes who can't let go because you so in love, you need to learn how to let go. If you don't let go and you keep with this foolishness, shooting at these kids and purposely killing these kids, the streets gonna have something to say. And Mr. Fenner in your police department, you can either do your job or we can do it. Don't matter to us. Well, I want to switch gears because tonight I want to talk about something because I was listening to something from Charlemagne the God. Had a guest on the show and they were talking about the fact that Joe Biden is a pathological liar. And when I listened to what the lady had to say, it made so much sense. It made so much sense. So this is not an attack on the Democratic Party for me. And if it was, I wouldn't care because I don't do the Democratic thing. But I want you to hear what she said. So I'm gonna stop this screen. I'm gonna share this screen, and we're gonna listen to this. Hold on a second. Let's go in here. Let's go here and here. Let's share it. Make sure we got it up. Okay, so we got it up. Here we go.
Well, you don't have any faith in the system, but the midterms is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Should Democrats have any faith that they gonna keep the House and the Senate?
No, they're going to get slaughtered. Wow. That's just the bottom line. Very similar to my hand. They're going to get slaughtered, period. End of discussion. But I've been talking
Republicans in 7 or 6? I talk about it like it's an NBA series.
Oh, yeah, no.
I said Republicans in 7 or 6.
No. It's a complete wipeout. Like
sweep.
It's over.
Wow.
But again, this was the sweep that happened in 2010 when I left the Democrat Party. And a lot of folks just weren't paying attention. I say all the time, Trump was the best and worst thing to me that happened to black people because people started paying attention. I've been talking about this shit for years. A lot of people have, but I'm just saying my own personal story. I got the tapes to prove it. When I left the Democrat Party in 2010, it's because they fucked up after 2008. You had the motivation, you had the movement, you had all of this energy, and you did nothing with it. So what Trump did, because he made it entertaining, he made it a reality show, folks started paying attention. And so after you saw Trump doing all of the stuff that, yes, was fascist, yes, an abuse of the Constitution, now people saying, well, Joe Biden, why can't you do it? Why don't you get gangster like that? He even said, I believe, earlier this week or last week,
Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't want to abuse the Constitution that way. Well, we want you to abuse the Constitution in that way. At the end of the day, you have to, or you should, you owe your voters something for their vote. And the problem I tell people with this, and people say, oh, give him time and he can't do this and do that. Then why did you lie about it while you're running? That's my main thing. Nobody asked you to volunteer lie. Nobody. I talk about it often, being in the family, being in the room of George Floyd's family. Nobody in the family said, hey, can you pass legislation? What are you going to do? He volunteered that lie. So when you run for office, like I always talk about, pimps, politicians, and pastors have a very similar speech, the way they get me, you, us. When you volunteer that lie and then you do not deliver, and then you say, well, I can't do it. Well, you knew that when you volunteered the lie.
Right.
Joe Biden's been in office for 40 plus years. He knows he needs Congress. You know that. So if you knew that, why didn't you say that? But the pimp game is all about tapping into folks' emotions, making them believe in this hope that doesn't exist instead of being realistic. They still have not figured out that if you deal with somebody straight shot, no chase, if you give it to them real and say, you know what, I can't really do this, but I'm gonna do that. And you just and you set the expectations realistic, people say, okay, that makes sense. It's the blatant, flat out lie. And Joe Biden, again, I don't give a damn who don't like it, Joe Biden used that year where emotions very high because of 2020, with all of the protests going on everywhere because of COVID. And he used that as an opportunity to win because he's ran 2 times before that. And so my issue with that is really just the honesty, Charlamagne. It's the volunteer lie for me. Nothing's worse.
Well, you don't have any faith in the system, but the midterms is right around.
So is she right? Is she right? Is he a pathological liar? And see, this is something that I've been preaching. Then they can't deliver. Well, they knew they couldn't deliver from day one, but they told you what you wanted to hear. They knew what you wanted to hear. Hear that you bit on it. And the crazy part, like she said, he volunteered that lie. Nobody asked him to make those promises. And then you can't deliver on anything. And then you want to blame it on the Republicans. The video that was abusing the Constitution, he was doing. Boy, don't get gangster in what thing. But Joe doesn't even have the balls to do anything. The most profound part of what she said is you are supposed to get something for your vote. How many times have you heard Demetra, Donovan, what's my man name? Demetra's brother. How many times have you heard me say that you're supposed to get something for your vote? And if you're watching, the Republicans just lost a key race last night. Dish to catch up with these people. And that's all it boils down to. The lies are starting up. One second, you guys. I'm having some connection issues, so bear with me. Bear with me. Just a second. So the lies are starting to catch up with them. You feeling what I'm saying? So in case you missed it, I'm gonna go back and I want you to see this. And I want you to listen to what she's saying because it's profound. It's just profound.
Well, you don't have any faith in the system, but the midterms right around the corner.
Yeah.
Should Democrats have any faith that they're going to keep the House and the Senate?
No, they're going to get slaughtered. Wow. That's just the bottom line. To my hand, period, in a discussion. I've been talking about
Republicans in 7 or 6. I talk about it like it's an NBA series.
Oh, yeah, no.
I said Republicans in 7 or 6.
No. It's a complete wipeout. Like
sweep.
It's over.
Wow.
But again, this was the sweep that happened in 2010 when I left the Democrat Party. And a lot of folks just weren't paying attention. I say all the time, Trump was the best and worst thing to me that happened to black people because people talking about this shit for years. A lot of people have, but I'm just saying my own personal story. I got the tapes to prove it. When I left the Democrat Party in 2010, it's because they fucked up after 2008. You had the motivation, you had the movement, you had all of this energy, and you did nothing with it. Trump did, he made it entertaining, he made it a reality show. Folks started paying attention. And so after you saw Trump doing all of the stuff that yes was fascist, yes an abuse of the Constitution, now people saying, well, Joe Biden, why can't you do it? Why don't you get gangster like that? He even said, I believe, earlier this week or last week,
Jimmy Kimmel.
I don't want to abuse the Constitution that way. Well, we want you to abuse the Constitution in that way. At the end of the day, you have to, or you should, you owe your voters something for their vote. And the problem I tell people with this, and people say, oh, give him time and he can't do this and do that. Then why did you lie about it while you're running? That's my main thing. Nobody asked you to volunteer a lie. Nobody. I talk about it often, being in the family, being in the room when he called George Floyd's family. Nobody in the family said, hey, can you pass legislation? What are you going to do? He volunteered that lie. So when you run for office, like I always talk about, pimps, politicians, and pastors have a very similar speech, the way they give me, you, us. When you volunteer that lie and then you do not deliver, and then you say, well, I can't do it. Well, you knew that when you volunteered the lie.
That's right.
Joe Biden's been in office for 40 plus years. He knows he needs Congress. You know that. So if you knew that, why didn't you say that? But the pimp game is all about tapping into folks' emotions, making them believe in this hope that doesn't exist instead of being realistic. They still have not figured out that if you deal with somebody straight shot, no chase, if you give it to them real and say, you know what, I can't really do this, but I'm gonna do that. And you just and you set the expectations realistic, people say, okay, that makes sense. It's the blatant, flat out lie. And Joe Biden, again, I don't give a damn who don't like it, Joe Biden used that year where emotions were very high because of 2020, with all of the protests going on everywhere because of COVID. And he used that as an opportunity to win because he's ran 2 times before that. And so my issue with that is really just the honesty, Charlamagne. It's the volunteer lie for me, nothing's worse.
It's the volunteer lie. It's the volunteer lie. So now here's a question. How many, let's stop that. We don't want to see no Vlad. Let's ask the question. Joe caught you slipping last time. There was a lot going on. George Floyd, the pandemic. He caught you slipping. Him and Kamala. How stupid will you be this time? Will you fall for the okie doke again? Say what you want about Trump. We wasn't paying almost $6 a gallon for gas. Say what you want about Trump. We could afford to put food in our houses. Say what you want about Trump. Everything wasn't overpriced and to the point that it made no sense. Say what you want. But if you're going to say something, then it's time for you to say the truth. That this man has single-handedly, along with his cronies, which they control every fraction of government, Senate, House, as well as the White House, have single-handedly destroyed America. And now you got to be the stupid nigga to go back out and vote for this sucker again. Say what you want about Trump. You call him a Klan member, but he wasn't made. I could put gas in my car. Say what you want. Some people just don't know how to do the job. See, a good friend of mine just popped in. Tony Nichelle Stewart, how you doing, baby? They just don't know how to do the job. So if you don't know how to do this after 47 years of waiting, why should we give him another term? Why should we give a pathological liar, somebody that lied about something we didn't ask him to lie about? Why should we give him another term? This is why I'm telling you, you have to research the races. I'm going to do my own slates and, put stuff out on who to vote for. I'm going to do it big this time. But why, and I'm going to use me as an example. Why wouldn't you vote for me? Now are you understanding why I switch parties? Are you understanding now that I can't keep doing this Democratic bullshit because it's costing me too much money? You see what I'm saying? This shit is just costing us too much. It's costing too much. Everything, every aspect of life right now that the government can touch has been destroyed. From the school system, it's on fire right now. It's on fire right now. So use me as an example. I'm not doing Democratic Party no more. I am a Republican. But Tony Nichelle Stewart been knowing me since I was 14, 15 years old, and I've been the same gear bundle. If she could vote for me, y'all tell me why she wouldn't. You see the work that I do in the community, and I'm using me as an example, but there are thousands of people that run for office just like me, that have had to switch parties because they can't do it anymore. Y'all sit here and we joke and we clown and we talk about Sheila Jackson Lee's braids and she's been in office too long. But how many of you henpecked Negroes gonna run straight to the polls and vote for it? You complain about Al Green, but how many of y'all gonna run straight to the polls and vote for him? Because they want you to believe that all Republicans are the devil. No, I'm Gary Monroe from Third Ward, Texas, and I got sick of the Democratic Party, and now I'm a Republican. Now you tell me why you wouldn't vote for me with all the work you see me do in the community. I'm not in Houston right now. I'm in Minneapolis. I'm not in Houston. I go all over the country working with communities, man. Why would you not vote for me? So I need you to get outside of your box for a second. And I need you to start And I'll make sure that I put some stuff on my page so you can know who's running for office. And I'm going to tell you, this is who I support. I'm not telling you to support them. What I'm telling you to do is do the research. Did you know that Joe Biden was a liar? Did you know that Joe Biden wasn't going to do anything for black people? See, when he was making the comments about if you ain't black, they all wanted to give him a pass. Oh, he's changed. And what did I say? Dixiecrats don't change. He was mentored by a grand wizard of the KKK. So without him ever calling you a nigger, he's showing you he ain't gonna do nothing for you niggas. And anybody that rock with him, you shouldn't vote for him because they're getting rich while we're struggling to put food on the table. They're getting rich while our kids are reading books that have nothing but porn in them. They're getting rich while they can't protect our kids when they go to school. They are the ones getting rich. The ones that support him, the ones that's telling you vote blue no matter what. No, you need to vote according to how this stuff affects you on a daily basis. That's what you need to do. And all these people out here telling you, and I'm looking at some of the same people that look like regular people telling people you need to vote blue, but you ain't tell them you was over that union, huh? You ain't tell them you making money off this, am I correct? You trying to dictate who gets in office so you can keep lying in your pockets. You ain't telling them that, is you? So can somebody tell me something Joe promised to do that he's actually done? You measure a politician by the work that they do. So can somebody tell me something that Joe has done that he promised to do? What has he done? Man, this man got us looking like right now this economy is resembling damn near the 1940s and 50s with what we're going through. We don't, look, Joe Biden is a pathological liar. And I'm going to tell you why. If you got a car, just type in, I got a car. I don't want to know the name of the car. If you got a car, just type in, I got a car. Let me show you the biggest lie being told. I'm going to show you the biggest lie being told right now. Because I really want you to understand what is going on. Trucking MT say, I got a car. Okay, so here come now, I got a car. I worked offshore for 12 years. And when I would come down I-10, going into New Orleans, and then I'd head over there to that West Bank, and I would get off on Lafayette Street, I'd make a left, and you drive down that street, and it turns into a freeway until you just run into the ocean, literally. If you stood right there on the shore of the Gulf of Mexico, you could see the drilling rigs out in the water. And it's thousands of rigs out in the water. What they doing out there? They got oil and gas out there. So on our Gulf Coast, we have more than enough oil and gas for these prices not to be where they are. Joe Biden is a pathological liar. Man, I'm telling you, I went out so deep one time, I think we were 200 miles out in the Gulf on a helicopter. And then I was sleeping, I woke up. And when I woke up, I saw a bunch of green and white rigs. They call them drilling rigs. I saw a bunch of green and white rigs Thousands of them. Well, who owned that? And it was for the Hess. It said Hess oil. Well, at that point, I figured out who them rigs was for. Thousands of them. Those rigs were owned by Leon Hess that owned the New York Jets because they were green and white. It is thousands of drilling rigs out there. Thousands. And you're telling me we don't have oil and gas to where these prices can go down. And the people that's supposed to be representing us, they lying for him. They are lying for him. Are y'all following me? There is no reason for these gas prices to be where they are. And then when I sit on the rig, because we work 12 on, 12 off, and I work the morning shift. I work from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. So when I would get off at 6, I would go sit outside on the deck. And you know what I used to watch them do? I would watch them burn at least 1 million gallons of gas from the flare boom every single day, just on my rig. Just on my rig. 1 million gallons. And these people saying that we're going to fix this. But what I'm saying, Kristen, I get that part. She say Joe won't let them drill. I have oil and gas clients. He has so much regulation, they can't get through the red tape. Exactly. But the truth of the matter is there is all out there for us. So if he's the one creating the legislation and the regulations, don't you think it's by time he eases up on that so that we can afford to put gas in our cars? See, I keep telling y'all, if you watch these people, they make money off the demise of us. Let me break it down to you so you can get it. The more they keep you begging on the government, the more they keep passing out masks, the more they keep passing out sanitizers, the more they keep sticking you with the jab, the more grant money they gonna get. The more they can go down to DC like Turner and Troy Finner did, lying and talking about crime is not high in Houston, it's decreasing, the more COVID grant money they can get. But we're laying here and we're suffering. And if you think that this is going to ease up, you have people in a crunch right now. Motherfuckers gonna rob and steal to survive, bro. Only thing I can tell y'all is protect yourself. Protect yourself. Motherfuckers finna rob and steal to survive. Now Curtis Chavez, let me put Curtis's comment up because I want to address that. Curtis Chavez says, I don't understand why Joe isn't called on to the carpet for a bipartisan impeachment. No, first of all, the Democrats need to call this stinking ass on the carpet. That's who need to call him on the carpet first. And I do agree with you. I mean, I don't think there's grounds to impeach him, but he needs to be called on the carpet by his own party. But see, his own party is benefiting from this. The Sheila Jackson Lees, those people, the James Clyburns, they are just living high on the hog while you can't afford to get pig feed in the store no more. Can I get an amen? Let me say it to you again. They living high on the hog when you can't afford to get pig feed in the store no more. You understand what I'm saying? They're not going to call him on the carpet because they are benefiting from this personally. They are benefiting from this. You know, I fly back and forth all the time, man. You know, going back to Houston. I'm trying to book a flight the other day. I have never paid $652 for a one-way flight from Minneapolis to Houston with one stop. That flight normally is maximum $230. That flight is $652. I said they live in house to hog and we can't afford to buy pig feet. So do you really think that the Sheila Jackson Lees and all these people here, not dragging them, but I'm just telling you the truth. Why would they stop him from doing what he's doing when they're actually the ones that create the legislation and all he has to do is sign off on it? So before any Republican needs to check Joe, his own party needs to check him. So I'm telling you, I was in the Gulf of Mexico. I was on a drilling rig. And one of the rigs was a floating spar, because normally they got to pull the rig from wherever they at to wherever they need to go. Tugboats pull the rig, and then when the rig get to where it's going, they let the legs down, the divers come, they anchor it down to the floor. I was on a floating spar. This is how much oil and gas they got. We would drill in one spot. The floating spar would lift its own legs up, had its own motors, and we would just ride through the water like we were on a boat until it got to where we're going. Then they dropped them legs and they drill right there. No other rig could do that at the time. I'm pretty sure they got more of them now. So my thing is where's the truth in this dude? I don't need him to be truthful about anything. I don't need him to be truthful. But I need you to be smart. I need you to be the smartest person in the room when it's time for you to go vote. And guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to vote for some Republicans. I'm sorry, there is no getting around it, because where we are right now with them controlling the House, the Senate, and the White House, I'd be damned if you couldn't get gangster. You think if Trump and them controlled everything, that Trump wouldn't have got as gangster as he wanted? Why Joe won't do it? Why Joe won't do it? If you black, that's what you get for voting for a Dixiecrat. See, if Gary Monroe sit here right now and I say something against the LGBTQ community, I'll probably go to my grave with some of y'all hating me and never supporting me again in life. But a man can be mentored by a grand wizard of the KKK, and you Negroes turn your head and say he didn't. You motherfuckers crazy. Got to be crazy, man. You got to be crazy, man. So let's put it out there, because I want people to feel me. I don't have any fear. Man, if Trump ran, I'd vote for Trump in a heartbeat. Man, go in there and talk all the shit you want, long as I can put gas in my car. You, as a black person, continuously scream about civil rights. You, as a black person, you continuously scream about racial prejudice. And if anybody down here does or says those things, we will go to our grave. But a man that was mentored by a grand wizard gave the eulogy at Strom Thurmond's funeral. You said that he has changed. Well, I know for a fact that he hasn't changed. You know how I know? Because you didn't get a goddamn thing for your vote. Want me sing it for you again? You didn't get a goddamn thing for your vote. And you ain't gonna get a goddamn thing for your vote in November unless you vote that clown up out of there. Okay, the pandemic, we're past the pandemic. We got to get this country back to rolling. You feeling what I'm saying? And right now, with the way they operate, we ain't gonna never get there. You think Sheila Jackson Lee got problems putting gas in her car? You think Al Green got problems buying groceries in his house or paying his mortgage note? I don't even want to talk about Miss Chucks and Pearls Abrevia. I don't even want to talk about her. See, because if I talk about her, I'm gonna talk about her bad. I'm just telling you, I don't even want to talk about Kamala Harris. The one thing I will never do, is just support somebody because they black. I'll give you an example. If you live in Houston, no matter what district you're in, you got regular city council members over your district, and then you have at-large members who are all over the city. South side of Houston, 2 at-large members, Mike Knox, Michael Kubash, both Republicans, both white, do more for our community and have done more for our community than any black city council person that's held those seats in the last 10, 15 years. I can call Kubash. I got his cell number right now. I got a problem in the hood. Michael Kubash gonna stop what he doing. So you really think I wouldn't vote for that white Republican? You crazy as hell. When he the one take care of us. But it's okay to say that you're Republican. It's okay to say that you would vote for Trump. Why would you be ashamed to say if Trump ran right now that you would vote for him? Why would you be afraid to say it? I want you to remember that next time you go to the gas pump. The crazy man, we could afford to put gas in our car, but this new racist undercover motherfucker, you can't even get a half a tank of gas no more in your car. And I really feel bad for the ones that always went to the pump. Man, give me 5. 5 ain't getting you nowhere. Gonna put some fumes in them. So I'm gonna put some of y'all on the spot. I said if Trump ran right now, I would vote for Trump. How many of y'all would vote for Trump right now if Trump ran? Based on what we know, how this has been going for the last 2-3 years, how many of y'all would vote for Trump? I ain't scared. I'm not voting for no motherfucking Joe Biden. And I knew when I didn't vote for him that I was doing the right thing. How many of y'all would vote for him? Now watch some of you Negroes get scared. Oh, they coming through. They coming through. So it's 4 of us. I see 4 of us. I see 4 of us. See what I'm saying? They have lost the black vote because they have not done shit for us. And we can't keep doing this same shit over and over and over and over. We can't. Look at where we are. Look at how we're struggling. Look at what we're going through. Hold on a second. Yeah, man, I'm in the middle of the show. Give me a second. All right. So my thing is this. Please make better decisions at the polls. Come on, man. Don't you think we need to be talking term limits for some of these people? Been in office for 30, 40, 50 years. They done lost touch, man. Don't you think it's time that we did something else, man? To where our people ain't got to be begging. Black people, I'm talking to you because we the lowest man on the totem pole when it comes to the quality of life. Don't you think it's time that we just accept the fact that it was better with the devil we knew than the one we didn't? It is time to own up to the fact that no matter how bad you thought Donald Trump was, shit was not this bad. I'm casting my vote for Trump when it's time, and I don't give a fuck who get mad. I'm not finna be out here paying all this motherfucking money for this goddamn gas, man. Everything about living in the United States has gone through the roof. Everything. Every single thing. I am not voting for Joe Biden. Fuck Kamala Harris. Literally everybody has. But that's a totally different story. I wouldn't vote for none of them. I'm going straight down the line. Now, there are some good Democrats in certain positions that we're going to have to keep in those positions. But I'm telling you, state rep races, them seats need to flip, bro. If you don't like some of these laws in the state of Texas, then them seats need to flip. But don't fall for that. Oh, the Republicans pushed that through. Man, they can't do nothing. If you don't like this gun law, then ask yourself why them state representatives didn't walk out their state house behind that gun law. They walked out behind that voter law because they knew they were cheating and they knew they wanted to keep cheating. But the gun bill, they didn't walk out. So why? Now, y'all smart. No, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Them folks in the state house need to come up out of there. Some of them need to stay. But the bulk of them needs to go. The leadership of the Democratic Party needs to change. But realistically, I don't care if it does or not. I'm kicking it with them Republicans, man. I'm not finna deal with these people no more, man. I don't want nothing to do with them no more. Period. Don't want nothing to do with them at all. Not gonna go through it no more. Never again. So I'm not gonna hold you guys because I love hanging out with you and doing what I do. I'm waiting on the scores to drop for the STAR test so I can unload on these schools that's been cheating on the test. And to date, and I know it's more, and I'm still doing research. That's another thing. That the Houston Independent School District since January 1st, 2022 has replaced, or they fired them, or they retired over 48 principals. And these people know what they're doing. And they have the support of the Democratic Party. And you wonder why our kids can't read. I bet it'd be a whole bunch of jacking off going on in them little bathrooms, man. With all that fucking porn on the shelf in the libraries. Ain't nobody got nothing to say about that. Joe Biden ain't got nothing to say about that. Well, he did say something. He called the parents that were complaining terrorists. How you a terrorist because you don't want your child to read porn? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Say, man, thank y'all for being who y'all are. I love being who I am. It's a whole bunch of jacking off going on in school, man. Whole bunch of people playing with themselves. With all this freak ass shit going on. If you want to get some, if you trying, and I'm going to leave you with this here, to get ahead in life, get an education, because you can get some head in the school. Say every night, man, it's your boy, man. I'm the great one. Get on the phone and call your people and tell them. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Yeah, you know who I am. I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow, I'll holler at you.